That was for Cara Fitzgibbon. Great job, Cara. Coming up next, we have the one and the only Robin Yurchek. Come on out, Robin.
Hi. About 20 years ago, I was waiting tables at a restaurant called Sweet Tomatoes in downtown Burlington. And, some of you know it, or what it used to be. And I was cashing out my lunch checks at the bar, across from the bathroom door. And the bathroom was a single-user bathroom, so only was made for one person at a time. And I heard a really quiet voice behind me say something like, "Can someone please help me?" And it was so quiet and so faint, I barely even registered with me, so I didn't turn around. But the second time, it sounded more like this. "Excuse me, can you please help me?" And I turned around to see a woman's lips pursed through a crack in the bathroom door. So I walked over to her thinking she's just gonna tell me that we're out of toilet paper or something. But instead, in a very kind voice, her very thin lips said, "I've had an accident." And unexpectedly and very unselfconsciously, she opened the door wide enough for me to see that she was stripped down to her underwear and pointed to what she had made on the floor. And I don't know what I was more shocked by, her willingness to show me her unfortunate spill or her unflinching ease in which she described to me her situation. Her story was that she was shopping next door at the time. There was a bookstore, Chasman and Bem, for those of you who might remember it. Shopping at the bookstore with her sister when she had this overwhelming urge that sent her running over to our restaurant facilities. And, well, actually, obviously, she didn't make it. But she did ask me if I would go get her sister at the bookstore. And I said, yes, of course I would go do that. Can you please describe her to me? And she said, well, her name is Margaret. She has curly brown hair and glasses. Okay, I said. I offered her a kitchen uniform just for temporary coverage, and she just nonchalantly waved me off. Oh no, when my sister gets here, she's probably just gonna walk up the street to Woolworths and get me some underwear and a pair of slacks. And I was so taken by, so struck by how calm and almost graceful she was. I mean, honestly, she did not have a sense of urgency in her at all. And I mean, I don't know, maybe I just should have offered her a cup of tea and a crossword puzzle, but anyway, I ran to the bookstore and I quickly spotted a woman who fit the description, sitting on a stool, curled over a book, and it looked like the Margaret with the curly brown hair, and I approached her and I said, excuse me, are you Margaret? And she looked up at me and said, over her glasses, and said, yes, that's right. And I said, well, my name is Robin, and I'm a waitress next door at Sweet Tomatoes, and your sister's in the bathroom, and I didn't want to say accident, because I didn't want to scare her, but I also didn't want to just say, and she's pooped all over our bathroom floor. So I said, well, she's experienced a little bit of incontinence, and she's asked me to come over here to help you get, her tidied up. She sighed. She was softly exasperated. She stood up and she took her glasses off, and as we walked back over to the restaurant, she explained to me that this happens on occasion with her sister. And as we got closer to the bathroom door, I started to get more relieved that I was about to unite the two in a time of need. I knocked on the door twice, and the woman, whose name I never did get, in the bathroom, opened the door wide enough to see us standing there. And she looked at Margaret, and Margaret looked at her, and then they both looked at me and said, who is she? What? In what reality could there have been another Margaret with brown hair, curly hair, and glasses at the bookstore who could take in stride the sudden appearance of a stranger with the news of her sister's delicate condition. In my confusion, I still managed to have the presence of mind to hustle back to the bookstore, find the right Margaret with the correct DNA, who, after checking in on her sister, did indeed walk up the street to Woolworth's to buy her underwear and a pair of black and maroon houndstooth polyester slacks. Got her all cleaned up and dressed, and after that, they emerged out of the bathroom together and, close arm in arm, started walking up the stairs towards the street, chatting. And I overheard Margaret's sister so delightedly saying, "Oh man, that was one of the most extraordinary experiences I've ever had. I can't wait to write about it in my next creative writing assignment." She was, in my mind, so earnest and willing to be present for her own experience, and without notice, disregarding any possible judgments or thoughts others may have had of her. And the way she harnessed her own meaning making was the most, other than the mistaken identity, the most extraordinary and inspiring thing for me. And as far as the first Margaret, I lost her in the shuffle all of this, but I also wonder if that was one of those really specific experiences where she was really glad she wasn't the only one.